Greetings to our viewers. Welcome to MP Rise in the 220 podcast. Today we have our guest here, she's going to introduce herself. Hello, Erica.
Hello, mister.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm
happy
good.
to host you.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Okay. Can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
So my name is Erica. I am owner of iStick Training. And I've met you through some training, and I don't know what else to say. I'm not going to say my age. I'm skipping the age. I'm not saying the age. We're skipping that part.
Yes, okay, can you tell us a bit about your background and what inspired you to get into the field of safety management?
I think it didn't start as safety. I think it started as training. So I was in hospitality before, and then I was training waiters and I was training staff, and then we became into food safety. And no matter where I went, I always had this passion for sharing knowledge. So it wasn't necessarily safety training.
Oh, okay. What are your current role as a safety lecturer involved day-to-day business?
Well, I think I'm going to answer your question 2 and 3 kind of together, because it's not only a lecturer. If you're a business owner, especially with what we do in safety and with training, it's almost like you have to create the work. So we have to see what is the needs and the expectations, what's happening in the market, and how we can actually change our training material to kind of adapt to what the people need. So day-to-day training depends on who's the client. But in general, I need to check what the students need and what their outcomes are in trying to meet those.
Okay, so how did the journey in safety evolve in running the safety business?
It started off kind of like administration, and then I realized that I know more than most, and then I just grew on that and on top of that, and I keep on learning all the time so that we can keep on evolving the training and see where we can improve.
Oh, okay. So what are the most common misconceptions people have about the workplace in safety?
I was thinking you're asking that question for a reason. Eh?
Yes.
I think the misconception is that people think safety is slip, trip, and fall. It's exactly what we spoke about. It's so much bigger if we talk about hazard identification and risk assessment. What is a hazard? What is a risk? And the risk perception of people. Safety is much more than just working at heights, but also about mental capacity. What is going on, and what is going on in your lives? And if you are struggling to get safe to work, you need to have safety in the workplace, and you kind of need to manage that risks.
Oh, okay. So from your teaching experience, how do you help students or trainees understand the real world importance of safety compliance?
I think there's such a misconception that people want to abide by the law, and by abiding by the law, they're doing the bare minimum. So I want to try and focus my teachings on international standards so that we can actually bring it down so that it's not only a specific law that you comply to, but general rules in life.
Okay. So what skills or training is essential to acquire safety management or occupational and health and safety?
Oh, that is such a complicated question. Such a complicated question. And it's so deep, right? Because I wish there was a set recipe for becoming a practitioner.
Okay.
But unfortunately, there's so many misconceptions on safety officer, a safety manager, and there's a lot of training companies and a lot of misperceptions as to what you actually need to get to where you want to go. And I wish there was set rules to say, okay, if you want this position, this is the requirements. Because at the moment, everybody is just doing certificates and not necessarily the diploma. And even if they have all the certificates plus the diploma, they're not necessarily getting a work or getting a job. So I feel so sad for somebody that's built a career on safety, whereas somebody else might get in based on some complete different requirements.
Okay. So you involved in the in accident investigation. So can you tell us what does that looks like from start to the end?
From start to the end.
Yes.
Sure, you're asking for a whole day of lecturing. Then we're just doing the introduction.
It's okay.
There is so many accidents happening at the moment in the workplaces and so many fatalities. Now, we've been involved with massive incident investigations. So we've, and it's always so sad because it can all be avoided. There's always, if one thing could have changed or if a couple of things changed, there was no need for people to lose their lives. So if we go in and we do an incident investigation, most of the time it is pretty bad. It's usually, we do, the industries that we do is petrochemical and mining. And in those industries, when a fatality occurs, it's detrimental to the mine and its operations, and it's detrimental to the business. So a lot of financial losses. And they want answers. The families and the people want answers. Even the government wants answers as to what happened exactly. So we get in and we try to find the root causes. It's there's always more than one thing that went wrong. It's never just one thing, and it's never a person. You can never blame one person. People will make mistakes. That's a given.
So what are those common incidents that occurred?
Oh, you know the Joburg blast, the Egoli gas?
Yes.
Yes, we were part of that investigation. During COVID, we were part of the petrochemical blasts. We were part of Astron Energy, Engine Refinery, and then we do a lot of mining incidents. So we've had big clients that we were part of. Obviously, I can't tell you who, I can't tell you what. Client privilege, we sign non-disclosure documents. It's pretty crazy. So it's not like we're going to release it. And I wish we had a little bit more of that. I wish we had a little bit more reports, and I wish we had a little bit of South African case studies that we could work from.
Okay. So can you share us an example, without mentioning the name of the company, of an investigation that you that taught you something important about human behavior and safety culture?
People lie. I think in all of our investigations, the one thing we do know is that you cannot trust. And it's not necessarily that the people lie on purpose. It's your brain.
Okay.
It's your brain's capacity and your perception of reality. It's almost like you can't trust your own thoughts. So if we're doing risk-based thinking, what you perceive and what I perceive is going to be completely different. And we can be in the same scenario, but there's so many emotions and so many thoughts and so many different places people concentrate on, that eventually if I tell a lie, you feel like my lie was the truth. So to getting to the bottom of it, I think that's one of the biggest things that I can tell you, is that we've realized we cannot really trust people, and people cannot really trust themselves.
Okay. So how can the small businesses improve their safety systems without spending much more money?
I think if we just go back to basics. At the moment, we are overrun by paperwork, and everybody has got a paper system and a PPE system. But I think we need to get back to basics. I think we need to go back and to say, okay, right, there's a difference between a construction and a contractor. And there's a difference between a safety file and actually practicing what the safety file says. So if we can get back to basics and actually teach the people that work for you. Just basics. Think before you do. You know, and not overcomplicate it, because we are overcomplicating it with signs and signals. And a simple example is now there's a big sign saying a fire extinguisher, but there's no fire extinguisher. But usually you don't need a sign saying there's a fire extinguisher when you can see there is a fire extinguisher. We're overcomplicating things. Not necessarily just that example, but we are overcomplicating basics. Right?
Okay.
A lot of people climbed a lot of steps in a lot of times without putting all the barriers in place and all the signs in place, especially if it's just a normal hotel.
Yes, yeah.
Not necessarily a dangerous place. It's like a normal household. You don't need all the barricades.
Oh, okay. So, in your own opinion, what is the difference between culture-based safety and compliance-based safety?
Culture-based safety and compliance-based safety. Compliance-based safety is you are just making the tick boxes.
Okay.
You're just making sure that you comply to the law, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Where risk-based thinking, culture-based thinking, is you are actually thinking about the people, thinking about where they grew up, what their perception of safety is. Because if somebody grows up in a dangerous situation every day, you're going to have struggles to tell them what's dangerous in the job.
Okay.
So to bring those two together, actually look and build a culture in your company that is based on safety, that actually focuses on you are able to harm people and making sure that you don't do that. Not just because the law says so, but because you want to look out for each other and building that type of culture within a company.
Okay. So, what are the common challenges that businesses faces when trying to comply with this safety?
I think the fact that you just said comply again is the legislation. The legislation gets so complicated and it keeps on changing that at the moment people are taking advantage of it. So there's a lot of corruption happening. There's a lot of misconception about it. And so people will come to your workplace saying, you are not compliant.
Yes, while you are compliant.
While you're compliant, and you will not know, because not all of us knows the law. So I want to say, the law is not protecting us, it's making space or pockets for misconception. And that's the problem. If the law is simplistic enough and it keeps on being the same, we can all comply.
So, what management can genuinely show commitment to safety beyond policies and paperwork?
It always comes from the top. I think it always comes from leadership, stems from leadership. And if leadership, I want to say, takes care of its people, then we can go back to the place where we are building teams and we are actually creating a place where people can be loyal towards the company again.
Okay.
Because loyalty generates a safety culture.
Okay. So, how is the technology changing the way safety is managed and monitored today?
Sure, there's a lot of new technology happening. And I'm not sure if it's making the life easier or more difficult. All I know is we are in the process of going over. So we are in the process of some things being digitalized and some things not. So during this process, again, there's gaps. So technology is making it easier to comply, but it's also creating pockets for error again. Because not everybody knows how to use the technology, not everybody has access to it, and then we are creating these risks.
Oh, okay. So, what trends are you seeing in the safety industry, especially in South Africa, that you think everyone should be aware of?
Trends
Yes.
happening with safety.
Yes.
I think everybody is moving over towards international standards, which I think is very, very good. So instead of us just having safety, we are actually incorporating environment and quality management systems And is it not only going to be safety focused anymore? It's actually, we're going to look holistically at the management system, at the safety file, at the whole company to be compliant to these SHEC standards. And the more we are working towards SHEC, the more the quality of a product is also dependent on the safety and the environmental factors.
Oh, okay. So do you think young professionals take safety serious more serious than the previous generation?
No. It's much worse. The generation that we're sitting with at the moment is not afraid of anything. There's very little that they're afraid of. So I struggle a little bit. And even if you have any kids, you will know they just go. They're not afraid. It's a big struggle within safety, is to make them afraid, to say that you are at risk. You can't take chances anymore. But they do. So I don't know how to make them afraid of something, because they're just not afraid of anything.
So what has been the most rewarding part of your journey in safety education and investigation?
Meeting people like you. Meeting people, meeting my students, and connecting with entrepreneurs. And the fact that, it's been 15, 16 years now, and I'm actually able to look back and see some of my students that made such a big difference in their communities, employing people, and then just took their businesses to the next level. So I think that is very rewarding, to know that you made that difference.
So what advice can you give to people out there who will want to start their own safety chain, safety business?
A safety business, safety consultancy. Safety consultancy, safety business. I would definitely recommend that you know and empower yourself more than anybody else. Because that's the key, is you need to, if somebody teaches you something, even me, if I teach you something, you need to go and check. You need to go make sure that it's correct. You need to go check what the international standards say. And you know what? You don't need formal education at all. There's so much information out there. And YouTubes, and they've been training, and they've been trying to make people aware of everything that's happening within safety. And there's more than enough, vast amount of knowledge. The worst thing people can do is to say, I know, but you haven't checked. You haven't double checked that what you did know, you still know.
Oh, okay.
So if you keep up to date, if you know exactly what is happening in the industry, what is happening with the law, and what incidents there was, what the outcomes were, and you keep on, you're going to strive above the rest. And then you're going to move away from the slip, trip, and fall experts.
So how do you stay motivated and stay up to date with the changes in the safety field?
That's what I do. I need to. I can't come and lecture and one of you guys know more than me. Huh?
It's okay.
I don't like looking stupid. That's not going to work for me. I can always learn, don't get me wrong. There's sometimes where my students can teach me more than I know, especially if we're working from different industries. But it's good to enhance my knowledge all the time.
Okay. So what message would you like to leave for our viewers, companies, or individuals who are listening who may not take safety as seriously as they should?
I think my advice to anybody would be is you can't move away from safety. Safety is part of your everyday life. It's not just industry specific. We live in a country where security is a big risk. We live in a country where safety is an everyday challenge for most people. Just to sleep safe, to be safe in your homes, to make your children safe. So you can't move away from safety. Don't try and separate it, but combine it. So your everyday thoughts on how you perceive risk, take that every day and move it towards the workplace. So you can integrate. And I think that is my biggest thing for everybody. Don't try and separate industry versus everyday life. Because at the end of the day, we all need to get to work safe. We all need to sleep safe. We have to have safety into consideration for our families, for everybody. So you can't move away from it. And stop thinking about safety like a grudge product. You know, it's like almost like insurance and healthcare. People always see it as you keep on paying until something bad happens. So I would move away from that. Safety is essential. It needs to be a passion for everybody.
Okay, so where can our listeners or viewers find you and learn more about your work?
With you. If they want to know more, they can contact you and you'll let me know.
Okay.
But I am, my company's name is iStec Training. So istectraining.co.za. You can go and look at everything we do. We do training and consultancy and investigations and auditors. So we do quite a lot.
Okay.
And we do some of it internationally as well. So go take a look.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Erica. Good to host you today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, thanks, Erica.